Welcome to the 29th annual North Dakota Shrine Bowl. After spending time with the players and coaches this week, I feel this is going to be one of the best. I'm Randy Gilbreth, the football chairman for the El Zago Shrine here in Fargo. The primary goals of the Shrine Bowl are as follows. First, to honor the high school athletes who have excelled in football and give them an opportunity to play in a Shrine or an all-star game. Second, to raise money for the Shrine hospitals. We currently have over 500 patients sponsored in North Dakota by the Shriners. All the care and services are given to the patients and their families of no charge. And third, to make people aware that we are continually searching for children that are in need of our medical care. To begin with, I would like to introduce the head table here. Down on the end, we have head coach from 11-man East is Brad Sandy from Harvey. And next to him is Next to him, 9-man head coach Tim Pfeiffer from Rolette Wolford. And Dale Duxer, the football chairman for the Chem Temple in Grand Forks. And to my left here is Imperial Sir Doug Maxwell. Next to him, Mike Berg, our executive director. And then the 9-man West head coach, Mike Mayer. And the 11-man head coach from the West, Larry Sandy.
I'd like to welcome everyone here. Imperial Sir, thank you for coming to our football game. And I'd like to introduce real quickly some of the members of my Divan who are board of directors for El Zago Shrine Center. Our chief of band, Lowell Thompson, and his lady Judy. This guy wears many hats. Our Oriental guide, Drew Lickness, in the back. Our recorder, Larry Fritz, and his lady Judy. And I think Larry's out doing some of his duties. We have, you have to have the head cop to make sure everybody behaves themselves. And we have our chief of staff, Bob Fredrickson, in charge of the provost. And my chief aide, and also a noble that contributes greatly to El Zago, my chief aide, Dave Arts. Our hospital rep is a guy who spends countless hours helping our kids and their parents, Noble Bill Tubbs. To Randy and the board, thank you again for putting on another good week, and we're looking forward to a great game tonight. I want to thank our players. Probably is the finest group of young men that I've ever had the pleasure to meet. And I am so proud to represent El Zago and to host you young men. And to our parents, I know you're proud, but I want to thank you for sharing your sons with us this past week and for today's game. And everyone's going to be a winner tonight. So thank you very much for coming, and thanks for helping our kids.
As I have sat here, hearing all the introductions, I'd like to tell you briefly a little bit about the Shriners, because we throw around terms that I'm sure are very foreign to many of you. Who are the Shriners? As I look at this audience, it's primarily non-Shriners, and that's great. We're glad to have you at our game, the North Dakota Shrine Bowl. I am an officer of the National Board of Directors of Shriners Hospitals for Children, and also on the National Board of the Fraternity. The people that were referred to as potentates, that's our term, but you probably think of them as the president, and then their officers, the divan. These are terms that, as I say, we use regularly, and many a times you're just probably going, what is he talking about? So the Shriners Fraternity is a fraternity that started back in 1872 of men in New York City to try and have fun. And we do a great job of having fun. And about 50 years into our existence in the early 1920s, we decided, we've got to be doing more in life than just having a good time when we go get together. There's probably a need to take care of some kids. And at that point in time, it related to polio. Polio was rampant in America, and so we set out and became the first Shriner Hospital in Shreveport, Louisiana in 1922, and have never charged a child for coming to our hospital. Our current budget to run 22 hospitals around North America, we have 20 in the United States, one in Canada, one in Mexico City, is $560 million a year. That's $17 every second, $1.5 million a day to take care of all these children. And there's never a charge. In fact, I know some of you out here have been associated with our hospitals. And not only is there no charge, the individual shrine centers will provide transportation from wherever you live to our hospitals. So that's who the Shriners are. We hope you enjoy this game. This game is one of about 40 games being played in these months. Primarily the high school games, the high school all-star games, are played in the months of July and August before the players go off to their college careers. We have a few more that are played at the end of the season around the country, some in December. And then we have what we call the granddaddy of them all, the East-West Shrine Game. This game is on its 80th year coming up. It's on ESPN. It'll be the second Saturday in January, and it is a great event. To me, for you players, that should be your next goal, to get invited to that game, because a lot of things can happen from that game. It's in downtown San Francisco. It's now played at Pac Bell Park. Some of the alumni, in fact, last year we started a Hall of Fame of the game. The first inductee was President Gerald Ford, and another fellow named Dick Butkus, who's perhaps out of a name you might recognize, and 4 other players who were certainly before my era, that were all inducted into the Shrine East-West Game Hall of Fame. This year's inductees, the first one I've heard come to mind is a guy named Roger Staubach. So a lot of America's, NFL's major players have played in that game. In fact, an interesting story. I'm working with the St. Louis Rams now. I'm from St. Louis, season ticket holder. It's gotten very exciting the last few years for St. Louis Rams, as you probably found. And I'm working with the Rams to have them sponsor a Shrine game. The Green Bay Packers currently do that. I'm working with the Rams. Well, I was going through Rams training camp about a month ago, and as I'm wandering through the training room, and they're working with a fellow named Grant Lindstrom, hopefully maybe heard of him. He's, I think, from University of Nebraska, and he's a great defensive player. The coach, Jim Hanifin, who used to be the head coach of the St. Louis Cardinals football team, was there, and as I was being shown through, he said, "Oh, this gentleman's from Shriners Hospitals." And he says, "Oh, I played in your game back in 1954. And he says, "Wait a minute, let me go get it." And part of what we do at the East-West Shrine Game is give a watch, memorable keepsake watch, East-West Shrine Game. He's got it. He says, "Wait a second, it's over on the window." So he runs over, brings it back. Now this thing is what, 1954? It's 48 years ago. He's still wearing it. He doesn't want to wear it while he's working with the guys so it doesn't get hurt. It's engraved on the back, Jim Hanifin, 1954 game. I thought, that's amazing how it meant that much in his life, of all the things he's done, to play in one of these all-star games, the Shrine Game. So as I was speaking with a fellow named Charlie Army at the Rams. Charlie Army is a name for you football players you should get to know in the future because he's the executive vice president of the Rams for player recruitment. And he is a very interesting fellow. He talks about how at this time of year they've got 2,500 names on their list of, these are all the college players, and they start one by one going through and seeing who is a good player, and they know more statistics about you fellows than you can imagine. Went into the war room at Rams camp, and it was amazing to see all the names and all the statistics on each player. And then they go to another category, and I thought, isn't this interesting? Their character, if they're a good person. And he'd show me various names, says, these are good guys, player-wise, but we just don't like their character, and we're not going to bring them to the Rams. And I thought, isn't that interesting? In 2002, the character means that much. And I mean, the Rams are world champions. And he says this team's even better than last year's that made the Super Bowl. Character really matters to that team. Well, anyhow, I was asking him, I said, there was a player at our game, at East-West game, about 2 years ago. There's always a players' dinner on Friday night before the game on Saturday, and the various players sit with the officers of the Shrine. He was a wide receiver from Michigan University, bright fella, computer science graduate. Michigan University, a great school. He's going to do very well in his life. And I said, obviously you're in the game tomorrow, a wide receiver. Said, you hope to go on to the NFL? He says, oh, I doubt it because Michigan was not really a passing team. And he says, I only caught 4 touchdowns during the whole season. He says, that wasn't Michigan. And he says, I guess they like me because potential is why I'm at the game, but he said, not because how many touchdowns I caught. So I said, well, I wish you well. As tradition, I had him sign my program. I get many of the players to sign my program. I think it's kind of novel that you never know whose signature you might have. I'm at Rams camp a month ago, and I'm talking to Charlie Army. I figured he knows everybody. I said, there was this fella, a receiver, who played in the game 2 years ago, January of 2001, I think it was, and he was the most valuable player. He caught 4 touchdown passes in the game. And I said, do you know whatever happened to that guy? He says, do I know whatever happened to that guy? Don't you remember how good the Bears have been this past season? That wide receiver is their star player. And I said, you're kidding. That's the guy who I never really relayed name to name. So he went from the MVP at our East-West game to now he's the Bears, lead receiver. I say, I don't know his name right now. If somebody said it, I go, yep. You never know what's in your future. Fellas, I hope you have a great game today. Thank you for playing on behalf of the kids at Shriners Hospitals. Look forward to seeing you this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, players, for your patience today in going through the line and so forth. I know that's not your typical pregame preparation, but that's why the games were played a little bit later, and I think you understand after having been through a week of camp that this is about a lot more than a football game. Also, I just happen to be thumbing through a program up here. I hope that when you get home and you take that program home, you will support those who supported you by putting ads into that program. I was amazed at the number of people that are simply giving money to the Shrine to pass on to the hospital because you happen to be from their hometown. They may not even know you. So support those people. And let me say that in all of my years of association with the Shrine, which is more than I care to think about sometimes because I've been doing this now, this will be my 31st year as a high school coach. I think I've been in, my first involvement with the Shrine was 1988. Let me tell you that this is an extraordinary group of people. As I represent the North Dakota Coaches Association, and the fellows that are coaching this game with you, that have been with you all week, these are my peers. These are the guys that I work with that I respect. And even though we are competitive on Friday nights, we're all in the same boat. We do this because of you guys. Let me tell you, these Shriners do what they do, yes, to have fun, but also for what you saw on Wednesday. And I know that sometimes when we take a group down there aren't a lot of kids in the hospital, and I understand that was the case this Wednesday. That's good news. But if you watched what they do in their screenings, and I've been down to that hospital when about every 3 or 4 players had a kid to spend the part of that day with. That time in 1988 was what caused me to be here today, because I bought the whole thing. I figured it out right then and there. And I hope you guys did too. You know, when you first got that letter from me, and I know you didn't know who I was, the name didn't mean anything, but you got a letter from me back in January congratulating you on being selected to play in the Shrine Game, or a number of you received a letter saying, you're an alternate for the game, hang in there, there's a good chance you'll be selected, and there's about 40 of you out of this 120 that are here today that's exactly what happened. But when you first got that letter, you probably gave some thought to other players from your school that have played in this game, and this may have been one of your goals from the time you started playing football, from the time you really understood what it was all about. Yeah, I'd love to play in that Shrine Game, and I'm sure the thought occurred to you when the letter finally came and your coach, and actually I sent it to your coach, and he called you into his office or the gym or whatever and said, hey, look, we've heard from the Shriners, you're going to be in the All-Star Game this summer. You probably at that time, felt a sense of accomplishment. Yeah, like all this work, those hours in the weight room, all of the guys that I've played with, I'm going. Think of the teammates that you played with in high school that aren't here today, that would have given anything, that you've talked to even since you were selected, that basically would have given anything and are jealous of the fact that you're here and they're not. Why you? Well, there's more of a reason than just because you're a good football player. Obviously, your skills have been shown. And I would guess in the case of most of you, it's not just football. You are athletes. And you excelled on the basketball court and on the baseball field and on the wrestling mat and on the ice and on the track. And you are athletes. So you honor this group by being here today as well. I hope, though, when that letter came and you realize that, hey, I'm going to be one of the top guys, I'm going. Up until Wednesday, you probably thought this was all about football. The reason you were down here was because you're a good football player. That's the reason you got in the door, fellas. But the reason you're here happened on Wednesday. If you are perceptive enough to have figured that out, everything that was happening at that hospital, and hopefully what was happening in your mind on that long bus trip back, was that you weren't so important anymore. You're here because you've accomplished a great deal. But really, what's important is what you give back. You are all going on now to college, or most of you, or you're going to start careers, and you're going to start getting into that thing that your parents are in now, where you work to get ahead. And I don't know what career you'll choose. I know that you will start accumulating things, not only memories, material items, and obviously the reason for an education and moving on, you're going to hopefully find a job and a career and have a family and a home, and someday you've got that cabin at the lake and that boat and that new pickup and all of that stuff. That's great. As you go through your life and start accumulating these things and start working towards these things, I hope that you learn starting on Wednesday that it's not what you accumulate, it's what you give back. And I know that all of you didn't know what these guys in the funny hats were all about when you saw them at practice every now and then this week. Hey, there's some guys in funny hats. I'm working with the coaches. Who are these guys? Shriners, I guess. They don't have any more hours in the day than your folks do or you do. They only were given 24 hours a day as well. The difference between them and most of us is they take hours out of that 24 when they still have to support a family and run a business or a farm or a ranch or whatever it is, and they take hours out of that 24 and they give it back to someone else. And that's what I'm hoping that you will do when you leave here. I guess my question to you would be, what's next? So you're saying I'm going to college next year, I'm going to be a freshman. What can I give back? I can't be a Shriner. You know what you need to do, fellas, is you need to make a commitment. And I know you're thinking football right now, but you're going to have some time to finding a way to giving something back to your community, to your fellow man. Maybe it's back in your hometown. Maybe it's as a volunteer at the school. Maybe it's in some kind of a church activity. Maybe it's when you get to college, maybe it's Habitat for Humanity. Maybe it's some other volunteer group, anything where you are giving something back and you are giving it gladly without expectation of anything in return. That's what these guys do. And hopefully down the line, when you get yourselves in a position professionally, you can take a look at becoming a member of a group like the Shriners or others that exist to have fun but to serve their fellow man. What could be greater? I don't think there is. There's nothing that I can imagine that would leave your mark on this world more than you giving something back. So yeah, you go out and play that football game today and tonight, and I hope you have a great time. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you remember every moment of it. And I hope that you will give these people sitting out here, some of them are, I noticed the players kind of sit together. They still don't know you parents. I don't have anything to do with you yet. But they want some of that home cooking starting tomorrow. I hope that you guys, you probably haven't thought of this, but I know this, your parents have, because my son played in this game too. Last football game I ever saw him play, he was wearing a Shrine uniform. These parents have supported you at how many athletic contests? Countless. And I know some of you are going on to play in college. Most of you are not. Most of you, many of you, this is the last chance your parents will ever have to see you compete. So don't only play for those kids, don't only play for the reasons that we talked about, give your folks something to talk about on the way home today too. Let them have that one final memory of you being the kid that they always hoped you'd be. Do you know who was happier than you were when you were told you were on the Shrine team? It was your parents. Because like the Imperial Sir said, character counts. See, there are other parents in your hometown whose kids aren't here too. And they're wondering why you are and theirs aren't. Character does count. So you've taken some steps. And really, starting in about a month, some of you will be starting college football, you're back to square one. You're at the bottom of the heap again. But I congratulate you for getting to where you are. I encourage you. I ask you sincerely to find something, some way, somehow to give something back. Remember these people that brought you up and got you here today more than anything. And personally, to my peers and to my friends that coach for a living, it's things like this that reinforce why we do what we do. And God bless everyone here. This is an exceptional experience, and there's also a football game involved. So thank you.
Next, we'd also like to introduce the prince and the princess of the game. And for the 11-man game, we have the princess, Nicole Unrun. Unrun, am I pronouncing that right? And I'm fortunate enough to have my son as the prince this year, Gannon Gilbreth.
To start off, this week was an excellent experience as a player and as a friend of all of my teammates over there. As I was coming here, I didn't know really what to expect. I knew the Shrine game meant a lot to the Shriners as a hospital and as an organization. But as we came along, we had a good time first couple days, and Wednesday we took off towards the hospital. Started off as a pretty gloomy day. It rained pretty much the whole way there. But I didn't know what to expect when I got to the hospital. What am I going to see? What kind of kids am I going to see? But when I got there, I saw some of the happiest little kids I've ever seen in my life. And it made me think as a person how gifted I am as an athlete that I can get up and just walk every day. Sure, I can get up and complain about going to practice every day, just along with my teammates too. But I've even played basketball with Gannon here. And it's the simplest little things like walking and shooting a basketball into a hoop it was great for him. He even beat Danny Holman in a game of Shrine. But it made me think as a person and as a player how gifted that we are, that we get to do what we can do, to play this game every day of our lives if possible. Thank you.
On behalf of the Shrine football players, I'd like to first of all thank all the Shriners for putting on this honorable event. The Shrine organization does an excellent job of planning and hosting the Shrine football game along with the week prior to the game. The players here today are thankful and greatly honored to be selected to participate in such an event. Throughout the week, us players have had the opportunity to meet many other players and coaches and make many new friends. We have all came together for 1 week to become one team. All the players got to participate in many various activities that included the tour of the Ingolstadt Arena. We all attended a movie, and most of all, the trip to the Shrine Hospital. This is where we first got a first-hand look at why we were all here to play this game today. We got to play games and talk with the kids staying at the hospital and got to see how enlightened they were to see and talk to each and every one of us. This brought much more importance to the game in which we will all play today. It is wonderful that all of us can have a chance to play one more high school game and represent such a great organization. Thank you.
I promised everybody to make this short because we got to be out on the field in like 40 minutes. So, like he said, I'm Bobby Babich. I'm from Fargo. I went to Fargo South. First off, I'd like to thank all the Shriners for everything they've done for us this whole week and the opportunity that they've given us, and I think they deserve a round of applause. The week of practice, I'll talk about that first. That was fun. We had a lot of fun. If some people were looking at us, they might have thought we were being a little goofy, but at the same time, we were being very intense and very serious about what we were doing, and that's that. We did a really great job of gelling. We came together as a team, and I mean, anytime people that have played each other have to come together and play together, you have to grow up a little bit and forget all the past that you've had, the past hating, the past playing, and all that. So we did a great job with that. Another thing is everyone picked up the schemes very well. I don't know about the offense. They did all right, but the defense did really well. No, but we did. We picked up everything really well. Probably by the second day, we had everything raring to go, and hopefully we'll be able to do that today in the game. Next, I'd like to thank the coaches for taking time out a whole week away from their family or whatever they do in the summer to to come coach us, and I think they deserve a round of applause also. Next, I'm going to talk about the visit to the hospital. That was just an unbelievable experience. All the nurses, all the doctors that were there. What? Oh, the doctors and nurses. They were unbelievable people, really, and it was just amazing to go in there and see how much they care about the kids and how much everybody just cared about the kids. And when we went in there, I mean, you were going in. We had stories from some of the players on our team about the hospital and about how people would come out crying, so we were pretty much prepared for the worst. And it just makes you appreciate life a whole lot more. I mean, it makes you realize how little football is in the game of life. I mean, the kids were unbelievable, and to see how excited they were to see us and how emotionally up they were. I mean, I don't know how I'd handle it if I had the same illnesses and things that they had. And one example is Gannon. He has cerebral palsy, and he was dunking on a little hoop. I mean, and that was tough for him. I mean, just throwing it down and I mean, I hope he knows. I don't know how much this will mean to him right now, but he's an inspiration to all of us, and I think he deserves a round of applause also. And last, I'd just like to thank the coaches again, and I'm done.
The coaches asked me the other morning to speak on behalf of the 9-man East team. I know all of us were glad to be able to participate in this Shrine game. I know that we're all good friends now since we've been practicing together so long. We'd like to thank the Els Eagles Shrine members for everything they have done for us this week and for the wonderful supper they gave to us the other night. It was a lot better than the campus food we were having. The Shriners, what can you say about them? When we went to the Shrine Hospital in Minnesota, we saw the type of men they were. They're men who don't want rewards, but instead want rewards that they can give to others. These men give a lot to the children. I mean, it was so wonderful going to that Shrine Hospital and talking to those kids. I know it was the first time I actually was able to get someone my autograph. And I mean, I was blown away. I mean, it was a lot of fun. These kids they had so much enthusiasm about life. I mean, like Bobby said, I'm grateful that we can actually be athletes and not have those diseases. And I know these kids are going through quite a fight, and they have a lot of faith. And it's something that's such a noble cause for these Shriners to do. Now the highlights of the week. We got down here Sunday and had practice at 3. We had to kind of skip the other practice because a little bit of rain, but we had fun swimming later on in it, though. I don't think we can skip the major highlight of the week, though, when our right guard, Scott Kaiser, got beaten in a chess game at the Shrine Hospital. This kid just blew him away in the game completely. I know all us guys enjoyed practicing together. I don't know if we really enjoyed the practice too much, but practicing we did enjoy. I would like to thank all that made this possible, especially Randy Gilbreth for lining all this stuff up and taking time away from his family and work, and Mike Berg for all the contributions given to the game. And last, I'd like to thank the NDSU staff for helping us and letting us practice on their field and using their facilities.
Rob begins to get into it. We are set for football this afternoon. 29th annual North Dakota Shrine Bowl All-Star football games are underway. The kick from Bronigo, a high end-over-end kick, drifts towards the right corner, and at the 3-yard line, it's taken by Renville County's Cole Ritter. He sets up right return and returns it to the 24-yard line, where he is brought down. It'll be first down and 10, 11-man West at their own 24-yard line. So well, here comes West, split backfield. Wide receiver to the right side is Raymond Kaler. Under center is Jacob Oderman on first down and 10, their own 24. He takes the snap, reverse handoff towards the near side. Running the football, Kyle Steffes, and he's got a big hole to the 40, to the 45, drug out of bounds, officially at the 43-yard line. It turns out to be an 18-yard gain, first down and 10 for 11-man West. Down and 10 at their own 43-yard line. In the game is Thomas Logering out of Dickinson, a 6'1", 170-pounder at a wideout. They go wing T, split ends on each side, snap taken, give it to Steffes on the end around. He's to the 44, trying to shake a man, still at the 44, shuffle stepping out of bounds, and he's finally run out of bounds on the far side by Mike Schiff out of Rugby. It'll be a gain of 1, second down and 9 for 11-man West, and it looks like the East defense is ready to spread that formation out quickly. And here they come back to the line once again. They're going to go split backfield, the same formation they started with. Wide to the far side of the football field, and Jacob Oderman under center. Takes the snap, play action. May have been miscommunication. He runs draw on the right side. He gets very little, maybe no gain. It really looked like he wanted to get rid of that football, and there was nobody there to take it that time. And actually count him 4 as Steffes winds up as a wide out, way over on the far side of the football field. One man in the backfield, Oderman under center. It's a nickel package in for the East defense. A pump fake, a fire down the middle pass is incomplete. They intended it for number 29, Raymond Kaler out of Washburn. And against that nickel package, he was able to find a seam, but not enough time for Oderman to throw the football. It brings up fourth down and 10, the 43-yard line for West, and they'll have to punt the football away. They had him open, but that was just not enough time for Oderman to put a pass on the money. And we'll see if they elect to indeed punt the football away. Lining up is Nick Johnson out of Jamestown as the punter. And so he's ready to take this. Number 3 is ready to take the punt. He wasn't listed as the punter, but nonetheless he'll go back and do the duty. Number 25, Andrew Fall to Harvey is a deep man. High, spiraling kick, and Fall will take it at his own 22. Sets up return to the right. He was covered immediately, and he's down at the 21-yard line. That'll be first down and 10, 11-man East at their own 21. That's pretty exceptional special teams play out of West, considering they only had about a week to get together. They stopped Fall immediately on that play. Yard line, 3 wide receivers in the ball game to start things out. Blake Trenbeath, their starter out of Cavalier, is wide to the near side. Fall out of Harvey, I believe, is wide to the far side. Under center is Schumacher with an eye. Drops back, delay draw. Gives it away to the tailback, Scott Walter, and he's got room to the 30, the 31, and knocked out of bounds at about the 32-yard line. Looks to be good for 11 yards on the play, and a first down and 10 coming up for 11-man East. So it turns out to be a gain of 11 yards for Scott Walter out of Wahpeton, and coming into the ball game now for 11-man East will be number 19, Judd Jasmer out of Grand Forks Central. He's a little guy, 6 feet tall, 161 pounds. He's a fly boy, and he goes wide to the far side along with Trenbeath. Wide to the near side is Fall out of Harvey. Another I formation. Stanley out of Rugby, the fullback, in front of Walter, the tailback, and here comes Schumacher. Brian Schumacher out of Thompson, first down and 10. Gives it away again, just a draw to the right side for Walter. He's up to about the 35. That'll be a gain of about 4, maybe 3 yards on the play. Brings up 2nd and 7 here for 11-man East. They went right back to Walter, and he's got some pretty good holes to run through in the end of that offensive line. Here they come again with 3 wide receivers. In the ball game is Danny Schneider out of Rugby. He was listed as the starting tight end. He's a wide out with Trenbeath to the far side. Fall to Harvey wide to the near side. 2nd down and 7. Snap taken. Schumacher wants to throw. Screen right side, and it's incomplete. It was in and out of the hands of Blake Trenbeath. They set up that down-the-line screen. He had a little bit of room to maneuver with. They're trying to isolate him one-on-one with the defensive backs, and that shows a lot of respect for the Cavalier Tornado speed, but he just wasn't able to hand on the football. Still no score. 4 wide receivers, 3 going far side for 11-man East. Back into the game is now Judd Jasmer with the other 3 wide receivers. Low man in the backfield is Stanley, and it's a pass attempt again by Schumacher, again to the far side, and again incomplete. He led Jasmer a bit too far. It brings up a 4th down, and so both teams will stop their opponent's offense after 1 first down into a 3-and-out, and now punting for 11-man East is sent to be Tim Peterson out of Wahpeton. Both teams go deep for 11-man West to return. Their punt returners are Andrew Fall, or check that. Their punt returners are Steffes, again out of Dickinson Trinity, and Raymond Kaler out of Washburn. And Steffes is the deep man about his own 22-yard line. Peterson takes the snap. Good, high, spiraling kick. Steffes wants it. Steffes takes it at the 19 off a hop. He's covered, but breaks away to the 25. Still on his feet, down to the 27-yard line. He did well to get 6 yards out of that. Coverage applied and tackle made by Mike Schiff out of Rugby. We've called his number a couple of times today. It'll be first down and 10 West at their own 27 or 28-yard line. That was a nice. So here comes 11-man West back to the line on first down and 10, their own 27. Split backfield once again. In at the tailback position now is Nick Johnson out of Jamestown. Snap taken, pass to the right side. Now it's the hook and ladder. The pitch to Steffes to the 35. Knocked out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Hook and ladder good for 11 yards, and it's first down and 10, 11-man West. So it brings up first down and 10, now at the 38 for 11-man West. Again, the wing T formation. Split ends to each side, wide out to the near side, 1 man in the backfield. Snap taken. Oh, they've got this one covered immediately. They hand it off to the far split end, Daniel Holman out of Velva, and he is stuffed in the backfield for a 5-yard loss back to the 33-yard line. Terrific play by the 11-man East defensive line. Huge stop that time for East. So it brings up second down and 15 now. Back in the ball game, Thomas Lozering for Dickinson with 4 wide receivers. He and Steffes are wide to the far side. 2 men wide to the near side, 1 in the backfield. Jacob Oderman takes the snap, fires a quick pass to the right side. He got it to Lozering. Lozering looking to the middle of the field, trying to cut across the grain. He gets to about the 43-yard line, maybe the 44. Actually a favorable spot. They're going to bring it close to the 45-yard line. It'll be a pickup of about 11 yards in the play. It brings up a crucial 3rd down and 3 for 11-man West. East. It's a big 3rd down and 3 as they are knocking on the door of at least entering 11-man East territory. Split backfield, split end to the near side, wide out to the far side, and again Oderman back under center. Takes it, wants to give it, now play action. Rolling right, looking downfield. He's got a man deep, looks downfield, pass complete at the 15-yard line, and down to the 10 is number 29, Raymond Kaler out of Washburn. He got a huge block for help on that sideline, moves it all the way to the 12. It's first down and 10, 11-man West. Turns out to be a 43-yard pass completion, and it brings up a first down and 10 deep inside 11-man East territory at the 12-yard line. Clock is stopped momentarily for a spot of the football with 8:24 to play in the first quarter, and here's the first scoring threat of the ball game for either side. Wing T again with double split in. Steffes goes in motion. Snap taken, give it away up the middle. Nothing there. They tried the fullback that time. That's Daniel Holman trying to run the football, and he will get nowhere. Actually, correction on that. That was Nick Johnson of the Jamestown trying to run the football. They'll back him up to the 14, a loss of 2. It brings up second down and 12. Not yet. He's playing cornerback on the right side of the field, and there's been very little to cover on that side. They're lining up away from him here today. A wing T formation again. Man in motion again is Steffes. Fake the handoff to him. This is a backwards pass, and the ball is loose. It was incomplete as they threw to the far side of the football field. The receiver couldn't handle it, and East knew it right away. They went after it, but it looks as though West got it back. It was intended for Raymond Kaler. It turned into a ground ball, and Derek Arnn also almost made a nice play to recover that fumble. So now they'll spread it out with a 3rd down and long situation. 3rd and 16, still inside the East 20 at the 18-yard line. Option to the near side. Looking for his own hole is Oderman. Now he reverses field, dives ahead, and got back to the 14. He was trying to call his own number up the middle. Nothing there. Reversed field and did well to get 4. But it brings up 4th and 12, and here's the first big decision of the football game. 4th and 12. Do you have a kicker that can get you 3, or do you go for the 6 here?
I think early on in the ball game, you're just going to try to get points. You don't know how many times you're going to be able to get the ball down in the red zone like this. You might as well try to see if you can get
the kicker is listed as David Euchstead of Jamestown, number 33, and that is Euchstead, 6'6" and 215. And he'll attempt what turns out to be a 30-yard field goal.
He's pretty good from this distance. Saw him all year make play.
Oh, but this one gets blocked, and the ball loose to the far side of the football field. Finally recovered by 11-man East, and Coach, just as you said, he's good from that distance. With 6:23 to play in the first quarter. We'll see what East does. They're going to send 2 wide receivers to the near side. Coming out to the near side, Blake Trenbeth is out there, and also joining him will be Danny Schneider out of Rugby. I formation, fall is wide to the far side. Under center, Schumacher. Snap taken. He play actions. Looks downfield. Wants the deep ball. He's got a man. Trenbeth, the diving try, comes up just short. Inside the 40 of 11-man West. The coverage was applied by Cole Dennis out of Stanley. Dennis was beaten, and Trenbeth almost made a nice catch. The Cavalier.
Great layout.
The Tornado came up just a bit short, and he's replaced on this play by Judd Jasmer out of Grand Forks Central, who comes in. 3 wide receivers to the near side. Scott Walter will line up as a wide out to this near side along with Jasmer. And I believe we've also got number 85, Matt Haugen out of Griggs County Central out here on the near side also. They give it up the middle on a draw, and there's nothing happening to about the 30. About a 3-yard pickup for 11-man East. We'll see who comes out of the fray with a football this time. I believe that is number 4, Jared Olson out of Grand Forks Central that carried the football that time. Coach is fairly conservative so far, except in long situations here. We'll see who opens it up first. 4 wide receivers again, 3 to the near side. Schumacher will settle in under center, and the only man in the backfield is Stanley out of Rugby, and it's a pitch to Stanley, and he breaks 1 tackle, surges ahead to about the 33. This will be a gain of 3 more, actually to the 34-yard line, but here comes a 4th down and 3, and they decide not to go to the air, enter the punting unit now for 11-man East. Along with Raymond Kaler, Steffes out of Trinity, and Kaler out of Washburn, and sent to punt it away is Tim Peterson from Wahpeton. And the kick is away, and it's a short spiraling kick, and it will take one hop at about the 38, bounces to the 37, and then Bobby Babich will cover it up at the 38-yard line. It'll be first down and 10 for West, and their best starting field position of the day called the 37-yard line, but West has to be kicking in the body shop of Fezziton. Wing T formation with two split ends for 11-man West on first down and 10, their own 38. Steffes in motion, give it to him on the pitch. At the toss sweep right, he looks to shake one man, dives ahead to about the 40, and he's brought down there, a pickup of a couple of yards, and a nice job by East's defense. They gave up one big carry to Steffes to start the ballgame, and since then they've been able to spread him out pretty effectively. West again with a wide receiver to the near side. The man coming out here is Thomas Lozering of Dickinson. Another wing T formation. They haven't gone to the split backfield yet this drive. Brings up second down and 8. Brian Schumacher, check that. The quarterback, Jacob Oderman, tries it. It ball's on the ground. It's a fumble, and 11-man East will recover. They were trying to run the football, and it looks like there was more miscommunication. Looks like they went one way, and the ball was supposed to go the other. And 11-man East will recover it, and it's first down and 10 for East at West's 44. 58 to play in the first quarter. Here they come with three wide receivers. They told us from East that they would be in this pretty much all night long. Schumacher under center, just a naked 5-man line with the I formation behind him. Snap taken, give it away left side, Walter. Walter's got legs. He tosses the 40, and he goes down to the 37-yard line of 11-man West. That was all Scott Walter. He was hit about 3 yards past scrimmage and just kept going for an additional 4. Second down and 3. Clock running at 3:25 to play. Three wide receivers, again, two to the near side. Trenbeath and Jasmer. Wide to the far side is Andrew Fall out of Harvey. And again, that I formation. Settling in is Schumacher. He takes a look. We have a nickel package in. Give it away. Left side, the big tail, or check that fullback, Mike Stanley, churning ahead to a 30. What a call that time by the offensive coordinating staff for 11-man East. They recognize that they had the nickel coming in on second down and short. They go right off the right side. Good for 8 that time for Mike Stanley. 5 to play first quarter. Three wide receivers, again, two near side and one far, and Schumacher settles in trying to continue the drive. Snap taken, looking left-hand side of Schumacher, fires towards the corner, has a man, and it's incomplete. It would have been inside the West 15, in and out of the hands of Andrew Fall from Harvey, and he was devastated from behind by Danny Nassett out of Bowman, North Dakota, right after making contact with the football. It brings up second down and 10, still at the 30 of 11-man West. 4-man front now for 11-man West. They're going with 5 defensive backs here. Only 2 inside the box as linebackers. 3 wide receivers, snap taken, toss sweep right side to Walter. Walter puts a move on, tries to shake a tackle and will not make it. Terrific defensive play out of Andy McDonald from Bismarck St. Mary's. Brings him down for a loss as he was not biting on the shake and bake of Walter. It's third down and 11 back at the 31. A little bit of success that route. They've had some men open, though. They just haven't been able to get the completion as of yet. Maybe a timing thing. In the ball game is a wideout is Brandon Loffenberg out of West Fargo, a 6'1", 190-pounder. He lines up on the far side of the field with Trenbeath. Wide to the near side is Andrew Fall. Snap taken, Schumacher, 5-step drop. Looks as his coverage begins to break down. Now wants to run it himself to the 30 and brought down at about the 27 as he reaches out for some extra yardage. It'll come up about a 5-yard gain that time for the cornerback. It brings up fourth down and 7, and I don't know, I get the kind of feeling that this may be 4-down territory here. Long way out for a field goal, but you've had some success moving the football, and who knows, you've got them deep in their territory if it doesn't come up good. Well, we'll see. It is from 43 yards out, and he sidewinds this one to the left. No good. So Sean Bronigal, the kicker out of Fargo South, misses. Now we're going to take a break here as we continue with 1:08 to play in the first quarter. Your score is 0-0, and this is Shrine Bowl football. Welcome back to the Fargo Dome. 11-man West pulls off a play while we're away. Nick Johnson out of Jamestown carries the football to the right side. Good for 5 yards on the draw. And it's second down and 5 for 11-man West after they take over on their own 20 following the missed field goal attempt by Sean Bronigal. 45 seconds to play in the first quarter, and there is no score. 11-man West back on the drive. Johnson out of Jamestown carrying for 5, and it's second down and 5. They bring him back to the line, wide out to the far side. And again, that wing T formation. Steffes in motion. Give it a play action to him right up the middle again for Johnson, and Johnson found a hole across the 30 to about the 31-yard line, and they'll move the stick up 6 more yards, and a first down stops the clock with 25 seconds to go. Exploit some things by creating some additional holes out there. They'll go to 4 wideouts here on first down and 10 with the clock running at 10 seconds to play first quarter. 5 defensive backs dropping back, just a 3-step drop. There's the quarterback Jacob Oderman. He airs it out, and it's incomplete towards the far side of the field, intended for Thomas Lozering of Dickinson. And with 5.2 seconds left, the clock will stop, and West will get one more look at the ball here before we go to the end of the first quarter. This will be the final play of the first quarter as the quarterback, number 11, Jacob Oderman from Dickinson Trinity, leads them back to the line. This time they'll go single back formation, 2 wide receivers, and Steffes in motion. Give it away to him. Looks for a hole. He's going to be wrestled down in the backfield. Derek Arndt got him. Now the ball is loose. We may see a change of possession just before the end of the quarter. It will be 11-man East football at the 26-yard line. Derek Arndt out of Lemoore wrapped him up. He was finished off by a number from East, and it creates a fumble. You're saying on the ground, man.
You got to blow quick whistles though. Don't let them hold.
East has the football in West territory after a fumble. 4 wide receivers dropping back. Schumacher looks to the end zone, fires. He's got a man. Touchdown, 11-man East. Number 10, Scott Walter out of Wapaton hauls it in from 26 yards out, and it's the first score of the ball game. 11-man East on top by a score of 6-0.
You see that play that went wrong and changed possession like that? You had your sudden change and go right after.
And East is on the board first today. Coming on to attempt the extra point will be Sean Brongano. Kick is on the way. Looks pretty good, and it is. And it's 7-0. Your score is 7-0 with East on top of West after a 26-yard touchdown pass from Brian Schumacher to Scott Walter. And we will go to break. You're listening to North Dakota Shrine Bowl football. Drake, Hankinson Insurance Agency, Beth Teagues, your agent, Drug Plastics of Valley City, and Weigel Refrigeration and Heating of Pheasant. Kick is away, and Steffes for West has it at the 17. Sets up a middle return, shakes a couple of tackles, still on his feet across the 30, and goes ahead to about the 34. And it's first down and 10, 11-man West, their own 34, after a 26-yard touchdown pass to Scott Walter of Wapaton. He puts it in for 6 and 7-0, 11-man East on top.
It's not that the plays weren't there. It's just some poor timing on their part in the backfield.
So here they go, first down and 10 at their own 34-yard line. Split ends formation again on that wing tee. Steffes goes in motion, fake the pitch, give it away, fullback, and carrying the football this time for 11-man West is number 23, Sean McConnell. He's out of Hazen, a 6-footer, 220 pounds, and he dives ahead to about the 38-yard line. That's the best version of a quick hitter that you'll ever find. The whole play took 2 seconds and got him 4 yards on the ground. That's a pretty good ratio. 2 yards a second, I think any coach would live with. Clock at 11:10. Here comes second down and 6. Again, 2 wide receivers, 1 each side. Lone man in the backfield is McConnell. Dropping back and looking to throw. Oderman steps up, looks over the middle of the field. Pass is incomplete. Good coverage applied on the near side this time for 11-man East by number 82, Chris Brown, a 5'10", 175-pounder out of Red River. Pass was intended for Andrew De La Barre, 6'3", 230 out of Minot Ryan as a tight end. It was considerably down the field for a tight end and almost had it, but the coverage breaks it up, brings up third down and 6 for West.
Maybe they'll be able to open it up a little bit more and put the ball down the field. With protection like that, they might be able to throw the ball a little bit more.
Well, he had time to check his options. Obviously, De La Barre in that play is probably his third option or something like that, but he was able to find him. And so here comes third down and 6. Wide out to the near side of the field. Thomas Lozering out of Dickinson. Otherwise, it's that wing tee again, and McConnell is the man in the backfield. A man in motion as well. Dropping back is Oderman. Wants to run the delay quarterback draw. Shaking tackles, but finished off at the 38-yard line. Wrapped up initially for 11-man East by, I believe, that is number, just a second. Let me see it. There, he finally turned it around. 69, Mike Ulmer out of Lemoore. He made the initial wrap up, and a couple of men helped finish him off. Good for no gain. Fourth down and 6, and now West will have to punt the football again. Nick Johnson is back to punt for 11-man West. Andrew Fall goes back deep for 11-man East, as does Scott Walter. and will be set to go with this punt by 11-man West. The kick is away. A high spiraling kick, kind of short, angling near sideline, out of bounds at about the 37-yard line, and that's where they'll put it. First down and 10, the 37 for 11-man East. No return on the play. And again, coming up tonight is the 9-man football game at 7 o'clock. 9-man is always fun. Same regulation field here at the Fargo Dome, the field that the Bison play on, but 4 less players in the field makes for less congestion and more wide open highway for those guys to run through. On this play for 11-man East, 2 go to the far side as they move right to left here on first down and 10, their own 37-yard line. I formation, and again the quarterback was Brian Schumacher, but we've had a change. Now running it is Jared Olson out of Central, and he hands off to the right side up to around the 40-yard line, about a 3-yard carry here for 11-man East, and we'll see who comes out of the bottom of the pile with the football. I believe that carry that time was by number 23. All right, check that. Number 32, that's Rob McCann out of Grand Forks Central, 6'1", 205 pounds. He got 3 yards at second down and 7 coming up here for 11-man East. Out of Grand Forks Central taking the signals now for 11-man East. He sends 2 wideouts to the far side. Those players are still the same. Jasmer back in the ball game. He goes wide with Trenby to the far side. Wide to the near side is Fall. I formation once again, and 5 defensive backs in for 11-man West. Snap taken. Give it away in the backfield, and a new ball carrier out there as well at the fullback position. It's number 20, Jay Thompson out of Park River. 6'2", 210-pounder. He moves it up to the 45. That's good for 5 and brings up a third down and 2. I was going to try and call him Parker. I don't know why I was going to try that. Out of the Park River thing. I think that's where I got that from. So again, a 5-yard gain on that one brings up third down and 2. 3 wide receivers again, I formation. Give it away to the fullback this time. Carrying the football is Rob McCann, and he's got a first down, or would apparently be a first down. Up at around the 48, they needed the 47. It looks from here like a gain of 3 yards, and the spot on the far side has it by about a half yard. First down for 11-man East. Receivers go to the far side. Again, back in is Judd Jasmer. He joins Trenbeath on the far side. Fall is wide to the near side of the football field. And back under center is the new quarterback, Jared Olson. Here comes another 6-man front in the box and 5 defensive backs for West. They're looking pass. Pass intended to the near side, and it's incomplete. No time that time at all to throw the football for Jared Olson. He was collapsed upon quickly. It was intended to the near side for Fall, and he was covered well. And it brings up second down and 10 on the incompletion. 2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side here on second down and 10 at the 48 of East for East. And again, 5 defensive backs for West. Snap taken, play action, end around, Fall in the reverse. He's got some open field, back up to the 50, shakes a man, 45, and down to the 44-yard line. That is a lot of running for 8 yards, but it's a good 8 yards for East, and it brings up a third down and 2. The stop finally made by number 50, Nathan Lynch out of Dickinson Trinity. And again, a third down and 2 coming up here for West, or actually for East. McCann is the only man in the backfield here. He may get the call on third down and 2. There are 4 wide receivers. Snap taken, it is McCann. Tries a sidestep and rumble, and he's close to a first down. This will be very close. A spot's going to have him just a hair short right at the 42, and they needed about the 42 and a half for a first down. You could pretty much see that coming. They come out with 4 wide receivers, but they were going to McCann, and it looks like by the hair of his chinny chin, he's going to turn up just a little bit short for a first down here. So 4th down and inches, and we'll see what East elects to do. Well, here they go. They're going for it. We saw Schumacher come back in at cornerback, and West was ready for a punt, but they're going to go for it on a quick snap, and West had to use a timeout.
They caught him there. Again, there's a weak.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's 4th down and inches here. Electing to go for it as East. They go full house backfield. They've got it, but Walter lost the football, and then he got it back and carries it further ahead. He picks up his own ground ball and dives ahead to the 25-yard line. It'll turn out to be a 15-yard pickup for East, and it brings up first down and 10. 11-man West, and now back in the football game is Olson, Jared Olson out of Grand Forks Central as the quarterback. 3 wide receivers, 2 near side. I formation, Olson has it, gives it away Walter, and Walter is spun down at about the 24. It'll be a pickup of about 3 yards on the play, and I'll bring up a second down and 7 for 11-man East. Far side, wide to the near side is Fall. That's Andrew Fall out of Harvey. And again, Jared Olson at the quarterback out of Grand Forks Central. Snap taken, option near side. He's got his fullback with him, makes the pitch, bobbled pitch, and then Stanley out of Rugby will have no choice but to bite the turf back at the 29. That option was read very well by 11-man West. It's a loss of 5. It brings up 3rd down and 12. I'm impressed at the way they were able to cover the option. That's a tough play to learn to defend in a week's time, but they did very well on that play. Until halftime. 3 wide receivers again to the far side, 1 to the near. The lone man in the backfield is Stanley, and it looks like Olson may be called upon to throw the football here. They have 6 defensive backs in the game, due 11-man West. Straight drop by Olson, hog-tied, but breaks 1 tackle. Fires towards the end zone, has a man. Walter, touchdown! Scott Walter out of Wapaton with his 2nd touchdown reception of the day. A 27-yard strike. A lot ahead that time by Olson to get that ball right where it needed to go, and it's 13-0, 11-man East. And he was able to roll to his left and fire into the end zone, and Walter was right there for his 2nd score of the day. Makes it 13-0. Bronigal for the extra point. It's on its way. It looks good, and it is. And we're at 14-0 as we go to break. 4:37 left until halftime. Your score, 11-man East 14, 11-man West nothing, and this is Shrine Bowl football. To 11-man East, and Sean Bronigal will kick the ball away. Short end over end kick. Steffes will get this one on a run and starts at his own 12. Sets up middle return, breaks it towards the near side. Shakes one man, shakes another with a stiff arm. To the 30, now being run out of bounds and down at about the 35-yard line. There's a little extracurricular activity going on at the end of that play. Tim Peterson, I believe, out of Wapaton. Yes, he is. And Steffes kind of running towards the barricade, ran all the way to the wall. That kind of felt like arena football there for just a moment. 2 scores at 14-0. They have 3 wide receivers in. Daniel Holman out of Velva's back in the ball game to the far side of the football field. And Steffes goes in motion. Snap taken. Draw right up to the near side. Johnson of Jamestown is spun upside down in midair on a big hit by number 48. Dusty Robinson out of Thompson got him right around the knee pads with his shoulders. It turns out to be about a 3.5-yard pickup for Johnson, but there's that hitting ability by 11-man East beginning to surface here a little bit. Yeah, they've got the nickel package in. They've got 5 defensive backs in on 2nd down and long. Option to the far side, trying to call his own number. That time was the quarterback for 11-man West, Jacob Oderman. And there was just no place to go. He was brought down from behind as that option fell apart from the near side quickly. The option was to the far side, but these guys on the offside were able to catch up. A 2-yard loss for Oderman on the play, and it brings up 3rd down and 9 for West. For West, they need to move the football. East has all 3 of their timeouts left, and they still got a considerable amount of time to work, and they have been throwing the ball well here today. 2 wide receivers to the near side, 1 man in the backfield. Steffes goes in motion, drop back, fire over the middle, pass is complete to Logering. Logering hit from behind and brought down, but not until he crosses into East territory at the 11-man East 46-yard line. Big play for Logering, and it's 1st down and 10, 11-man West. Two near, 1 in the backfield, and we're going to have our first penalty flag of the ball game as half of East, or actually half of West Side, thought it was on 1, and half thought it was on 2, and it turns out it wasn't on either, except a 5-yard penalty, and they'll start over again back in their own territory at the 49-yard line. Played a long time without a penalty flag, you know. Come 1st down and 15 now. Call it the 49-yard line of 11-man West. 4 wide receivers back in the ball game. Snap taken. Give it away up the middle. Johnson. He had a hole for a moment, and he churns away to the 45 of 11-man East. That'll be good for 7 yards in the play. Nick Johnson of the Jamestown getting his number called a lot today. His 2nd carry of the drive. And with 2.5 to play, it'll be 2nd down and call it 8 after they pick up about 6. And no huddle, as we mentioned, but another penalty flag is down now. We may have had somebody lined up a bit off sides. And East is clapping, so this apparently is going against 11-man West. They're going too fast for me to keep up with everything in my scorebook here. Split backfield now. Steffes lines up at a tailback position. The fullback is Johnson. And under center once again is Jacob Oderman out of Dickinson Trinity. They're running option left side. Oderman's got a hole up the middle. He gets back to the 45. They get the yardage back they lost on the penalty previous, and it brings up 3rd down and 8 now for 11-man West.
Back to the original line of scrimmage a little bit beyond it. See what kind of play call we got coming up here on
Probably won't get that done. They're fairly compact, though. Only one wide receiver. He's got single coverage on the near side. It's play action. Rolling out is Oderman. He loads up and fires. He's got a man, but he is going to be incomplete. Completed pass, but the man goes out of bounds. His target downfield on the near side was number 25, Raymond Kaler, and he was covered that time for 11-man East by number 35, Kyle Olson out of Hillsboro, 5'11", 180-pounder. That really was terrific coverage by Olson. He let him get to a point where he could not catch the ball inbounds, and that drew the pass, and that brings up an incompletion, stops the clock with 1:29 to play. It is 4-down territory, so again, Lozering comes back in as the wideout on the near side. He's the only wideout listed, and a fire by Oderman across the middle, and that is incomplete. He was looking for a tight end, Andrew De La Barre out of Bishop Ryan, but that ball is behind De La Barre, and it brings up an incompletion. And 11-man East is not in too bad a shape here as they take over at their own 45. 1:27 to play, and all three timeouts. They can load up on a couple of plays and try and move this downfield quickly here. Ryan Schumacher comes back in at quarterback as well. Game broadcast today brought to you in part by Brothers 3 of Valley City, 4U Insurance Agency, Rick Hauser, your agent of Hankinson, Kelly's Hardware and Farm Supply at Cooperstown, and by the Pheasant and Co-op Association of Pheasant. Three wide receivers in an I formation. Schumacher under center, takes the snap, rolling right side under tremendous pressure, fires the ball up for grabs, and it's picked off by 11-man West. He was trying to throw it out of bounds, but he got hit, and it goes up for grabs like a pop fly, number 86, which I believe is listed as 85. Matthew Haugen out of Griggs County Central comes up with a takeaway on the far side of the field, and West has another opportunity. Two timeouts, 1:19 to play, and it's 1st down and 10 West inside the East 39-yard line. One wide receiver, Tom Lozering to the near side. Taking the snap, Oderman fires to Lozering on the slant. Hook and ladder, pitch to Steffes. Steffes puts a man on, shakes a tackle at the 45, or checked at the 35, and is run out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Steffes will pick up about 8 yards for 11-man West, and he stops the clock with 1:13 to play. That's beautiful execution by West. Get 8 yards and stop the clock. They've still got a pretty good opportunity to try and punch it in. And so here they come at 2nd down and call it 1 as he picked up about 8.5 yards. And again, a couple of wideouts to the near side of the football field. That is the short side, and they have a split backfield formation as well. Now they're going to send a man in motion out of the backfield. Dropping back, Oderman looking, fires to the near side. Steffes was the last resort, and they were unable to complete that one. Derek Arndt was up in coverage, and the pressure applied by Matt Haugen out of Griggs County Central. I'm going to change that last pickoff. I apologize. Greg Mance out of Mandan, number 86, was the man that made the pickoff for 11-man West. I looked at the wrong roster there. Incompletion stops the clock with 1:09 left and brings up 3rd down and 1 for 11-man West. And here they come to the line again. Two wide receivers far side, one to the near. Keep your eye on Lozering. He's the man that's wide out to the near side. One man in the backfield now as well. And a snap taken. Looking Oderman fires a quick pass to the far side of the football field. Complete. 1st down for 11-man West. And they get out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Wide receivers to the near side, a split into the far side is Steffes. Watch him, he may go in motion. Under center again is the quarterback Oderman. Steffes in motion, play action. Steffes fires over the middle. It's Lozering trying to shake a tackle. He got to the 10, then backed up. The ball comes loose, but they're going to blow this down by contact. East was all over that ball, but clearly on the ground that time was Tom Lozering after catching the ball. It looks like, though, they're going to put the ball at the 14-yard line. Lozering had it at the 10, tried to put a move on, and then got knocked back to the 14 before finally going down. It'll be a pickup of about 6 yards on the play, or will they move it to the 10? Looks like they're going to put it up to where he was and give him forward progress on it. So it'll be an 11-yard pickup for West, and I believe they're going to elect to use a timeout possibly, maybe not. And it's 1st down and 10. The clock did stop on the 1st down, now begins to run again. Down to 50 seconds as Oderman settles in under center. 4 wide receivers, snap taken. Oderman looking towards the end zone. Steps up, he's got room. He's to the 5, puts a move on, into the end zone. Fumbled football. It's on the ground, and East will get it back in the end zone. He was moving towards the goal line, lost it just as he got to the line, and it looks like it's going to be East football. And I don't know, maybe East got a break there. I thought that crossing into the end zone that time was the quarterback, Jacob Oderman, before he lost the ball. The officials have got together. Touchdown, 11-man West. Left to go for 11-man West here in the second quarter, and they'll come on to attempt an extra point. David Eukstead out of Jamestown, the lefty, will attempt to kick the extra point and bring them back to within 7. Placement is down, kick is on its way, and it is nothing but net, and it's 14-7. 11-man East has their lead cut to 7 as we go to break. With 43.3 seconds left till halftime, it's 11-man East 14, 11-man West 7, and this is Shrine Bowl football. 3 timeouts remaining and 43 seconds to work with. It's a squib kick. It's on the ground and finally picked up by Walter, then a bobble, then Walter picks it up again. He's to the 25 and knocked down at about the 28-yard line, and East will take over first down and 10, their own 28. An all-star game. 3 wide receivers, 2 far side and 1 near. Schumacher going to drop back, gives it away to Walter. Walter breaks 1 tackle to the 35, bounces it outside, trying to stiff arm another man to the 40, and then running out of bounds as he goes into a bench on the far side. A big-time play on the far side of the football field, catching up and running him out of bounds for West is Seth Quivy out of Bismarck St. Mary's, but it'll be a first down for 11-man East, and the clock stops with 31 seconds to play. Options available to 11-man East here. 2 wideouts, now 3 to the near side, 1 to the far side. The only man in the backfield is Mike Stanley out of Rugby. And settling again is Schumacher. He drops back deep, 7-step drop. Wants to throw, shakes away from pressure. Now he's got wide open territory in front of him. To the 45, trying to shake a tackle, bounces ahead to the 49. He reached down with the football, and we're going to see a possible timeout coming up here. They've stopped the clock for a moment, and I believe that 11-man East has elected to use 1 of their 3 timeouts. They have, and so we'll go to break. With 21.7 left till halftime, it's 11-man East 14, 11-man West 7, and this is Shrine Bowl football. It's second, that might have been my office. Second down and 1. 11-man East has it at the 49-yard line with 21 seconds to play. Schumacher dropping back. He steps up, fires a deep ball, and this one is incomplete. And there could have been a couple of flags there, but none of them come out. Oh, here comes a penalty flag now at the end of this last play. And I thought I saw a holding penalty there. 11-man East had their coverage being broken up, and it looked like one of the West All-Stars had a handful of jersey going against him, and there is a holding penalty against 11-man East. Stops the clock with 16 seconds to play. The flag is down at the 43. From there, just in the ball game, though, and 5 defensive backs for 11-man West, and Schumacher takes it and gives it away. And up the middle, I believe this is Tim Peterson out of Wapaton that was carrying the football. And don't check that Mike Stanley out of Rugby. He moves it ahead to about the 34. The clock is running, and that's going to bring us to our halftime campaign. A good exhibition of football going on in front of us through a half of play, and a couple of big touchdown passes to a man out of Wapaton is the difference right now on the scoreboard as the teams will go to the halftime locker room. You're listening to live coverage of the 2002 North Dakota Shrine Bowl. This broadcast made possible in part by VW Motors of Cooperstown, Nodak Communications of Sykeston, also by Nice. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Great game. First of all, I'd like to introduce our Colonel Sir, Doug Maxwell, our illustrious Sir, Steve Gardner, and illustrious Sir Phil Goodwell from the County Shrine. And our princess and her family, Nicole Unruh, is Bill Jones, which is the hospital representative of the El St. Shrine. Shrine Bowl, like this football signed by all our players this year. Of course, they had a big passing play that set them up, but they weren't able to finish it off. The kick is away from West. It's a low-line drive kick, and it's picked up on the ground for 11-man East by Bob Babbage. He's got a big hole up the middle, and he returns it to about the 33 before being shoved back, and that's where we'll begin the second half of play with East, their hands on the football, first down and 10 at their own 33-yard line. Second half begins now right here on Dakota Country and Oldies 95. So again, Ryan Cunningham with you here today, along with Kurt Skotnicki, the head coach of Jamestown Jimmy Football. Want to remind you the broadcast Motors in Cooperstown. We're set to go. Back at the quarterback is Brian Schumacher for 11-man East, and we're set to go with 3 wide receivers, and we're going to have a penalty flag as one of the West guys jumped off, and we'll see if he was drawn off or if, in fact, it was a simple offsides penalty. It's going to be an encroachment penalty against 11-man West. President and Drake. 3 wide receivers, and Schumacher takes the snap, hands it away to Scott Walter, their bread and butter back in the first half, and he is again here to start the second half, churning away for what will turn out to be about a 7-yard pickup, actually about a 9-yard pickup for 11-man East, and it brings up a first down and 10 as they move the ball to their own 47-yard line. The tailback position here. Andrew Fall is wide to the near side, 2 men wide to the near side. Look for Blake Trenbeath to get involved here. He's been quiet. Snap taken, Walter, draw on the right side, and he's got about 3 up to the midfield stripe. Wrestled down for 11-man West that time by number 82. And I've got my 9-man roster out right now, getting set for the next ball game. So I'm going to have to page forward to the 11-man roster, where I see that 82 is Eric Melland out of wide receivers for East on second down and 7 at the midfield stripe. 3 to the far side. Under center is Schumacher. Straight drop. Pump fakes once. Looks downfield. Wants a deep ball. Over the middle. Pass is incomplete. It was just a bit too hard for number 45, Danny Schneider out of Rugby. Well set up. Good route. Just not on the money. Running in the play. He and Trenbeath go wide to the far side. Fall is wide to the near side. I formation. Schumacher dropping back. Wants to throw again. Coverage collapses. It's a screen, and it's Walter. Walter to the 45 and a leg tackled at about the 42, 43-yard line. And they have a beanie down at the 44, which will be the spot of the stop, and that is going to be a yard shy of the first down. And we'll see if East wants to roll the dice here early in the second half of football. With a power I formation backfield, double tight across the line, everybody's in. Schumacher takes it, gives it to Walter, and Walter's got the first down and then some. To the 40-yard line, Scott Walter's going to make some college coach happy next year because he seems to be a go-to guy. He picks up a first down, and 11-man East is back on the move. Good runner has got a good line, and 11-man West seems to be content to go with 5 defensive backs on every play here. That's an adjustment. 3 wide receivers dropping back, delayed draw to Walter now from Schumacher, and he's got more room across the 35 and looks to be down to about the 34. He's a bit frustrated because he had 1 man to beat and he just tripped and fell, or he was gone to the end zone. As it is, though, he picks up 7 yards and brings up second down and 3, and this drive is Walter. It looks like East is happy to run him until West proves they can stop him, and so far they haven't been able to do that yet. Down in 3, again 3 wide receivers, 2 far and 1 near. I formation backfield. Schumacher this time to Stanley, the fullback. He just rumbles through 1 tackle at the 30 and turns ahead to the 25-yard line. He was hit early and just kept the legs moving. Good technique, and 10 yards for Stanley. First down and 10, 11-man East. To the line, first down and 10 inside the 25-yard line of 11-man West now. Again, 5 defensive backs for West. Snap taken, penalty markers down. I think we've got motion on the offense. Walter on the dive on the right side goes to about the 21, but a marker is down the backfield for 11-man East. I thought I saw just a leg flinch from one of the offensive linemen for 11-man East. He's going to go against them. And we'll see indeed what the call will turn out to be. It will be a false start penalty going against 11-man East, and so they'll back things up. You know, that's one aspect we didn't talk about in our pregame show, but that's true. 4 wide receivers now, 3 to the far side on first and 15. Snap taken, delay draw to Stanley. He's got a big hole to the 20, to the 15, and down to the 14-yard line for 11-man East. That is Mike Stanley out of Rugby just churning ahead, and he's got 20 yards on the play. 7:45 to play in the third quarter. 3 wide receivers, snap taken, Walter, bouncing again. He was able to get down to about maybe the 11-yard line, a pickup of 2. They go back to him after giving him a couple of plays off, and it's second down and 8 for 11-man East. All of the positive yardage on this drive has been on the ground. Walter and Stanley doing all of the carrying of the football here, and it's been nothing but ground yards as East is eating up clock and eating up yardage towards their third score of the game. Inside the 11-yard line of 11-man West with 3 wide receivers, and they're going to spread the wide side of the football field now. Blake Trenbeath, Judd Jasmer, wide to the near side. Snap taken, delay draw again. Walter bouncing to the right, puts his head down and pummels through to about the 8-yard line. And it looks like we have a third down and short, about 2.5 coming up here for 11-man East. It's another power I. Leading it is Alex Kingsley out of Fargo South. Snap taken Walter, and before he gets anywhere, this one's going to be blown dead by way of the penalty flag. Well, it seems as though the officials understand that they did not throw the flag very much in the first half, and they're trying to make a bit of a comeback themselves here in the second half of play. Ball at the 11-yard line now after the 5-yard motion penalty. Thompson back under center after Schumacher checked that. Hands it off. Now play action to the end zone, and it's incomplete. He faked everybody out, including me. I thought Walter was getting that for sure. Great play action. They tried Trenbeath in the near corner of the end zone, and it was just overthrown. That was a great throw, actually, by Schumacher. He put it right where Trenbeath had a shot at it, and neither of the men in double coverage did. But also, that's a great read by 11-man West to have double coverage on Trenbeath of the power I formation. John Bronigal comes on to attempt a 29-yard field goal for 11-man East. Snap is high, the hold is down, kick is on its way. Oh, this looks plenty good. No, it's wide to the right. Looked like it would go in, but wide to the right is the call, and so Bronigal will fall to the turf in disgust. He's helped up by his teammates, and 11-man West will take over first down and 10 at their own 20. Bronigal's not having a real good day on this NDSU turf today. Stanley and Walter at all for naught for East. And here comes West. Split backfield, wideouts to each side. And the snap taken by Oderman, the quarterback. He hands it off to the right side. We've got a fumbled football, and 11-man East will pick it up. They're going to take over on their 20. It's recovered by Tyler Morrow out of Wahpeton. Boy, are the Huskies having a good day here today. A recovery by Tyler Morrow, and it's first down and 10 at the 20 for 11-man East. May have been what they were attempting, but that time to no avail. They're showing some pressure now. They've got men up on the corners due West in defense as we're ready to go. Back in at quarterback Jared Olson for East, and he throws a ground ball to the left-hand side intended for Andrew Fall. It's incomplete, brings up second down and 10 at the 20-yard line for 11-man East. Review our coaches and give you starting lineups as well. Jared Olson brings him back to the line on second down and 10 at the West 20. He takes the snap, delayed draw, Walter. Looking up the middle, he's hogtied and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Nobody going to fool Nathan Lynch out of Dickinson Trinity that time. He brings him down right at the 20 for no gain. It brings up third down and 10. Walter trying his best to shake and bake, and Lynch was not biting on anything that time. The nose of the football resting across the 20 of West. 4 wide receivers, 3 to the near side. Low man in the backfield, Stanley. Dropping back here is Olson. Steps up in the pocket now. Fires a Hail Mary towards the end zone. Walter, touchdown! Scott Walter with his third touchdown grab of the day in the back of the end zone on just a looper, goes up in traffic and pulls it down from 20 yards out. It's the Scott Walter show for East as they bump their lead to 20-7 over 11-man West. Boy, the Bison are going to like this guy because he has got tools. Bronigal for the extra point. Kick is on its way. Looks pretty good, and it is, and we are going to break with East on the board first in the second half. Your score with 4:46 to play in the third quarter is East 21 and West 7. This is Shrine Bowl football. 11-man East after another touchdown throw to Scott Walter. Bronigal kicks it away. Steffes takes it on a hop of the 10-yard line. Sets up middle return, trying to bust through a seam. It closes at about the 28, and he'll drive it ahead to about the 30. Another touchdown off of turnover. 3 of the 4 scores that are on the board today have come by way of the turnover, and really that is the deciding factor in so many football games. You hold on to it, you stay in the ball game, you lose it, and you're down a couple of scores getting into the late stages.
Well, that's tough for West right there. They made a great
Squad to the wide side, and we have a double wing, or actually the wing T formation. It's a delayed drop the middle this time to the fullback, and some pretty good yardage here for the man carrying the football, Sean McConnell out of Hazen. He's been in their spot time today, and he's done very well. 9-yard pickup for McConnell brings up 2nd down and 1. Stop finally made for East by number 84, Steve Brennan out of West Fargo. 2nd down is short coming up here for 11-man West. They go right back to the ground. That's a lot of composure for these guys to pull off a play on the ground. You haven't worked together. You're down late in the ball game, and yet wide to the near side is Raymond Kaler out of Washburn. Again, the wing T, Steffes in motion. Fake to give to him. Give it away McConnell. This time, nothing there. He's brought down in the backfield. Initial hit made for 11-man East by number 57, Cody Rogest out of Harvey. And he had some help from some beef up front. Darren Kalash, the 6'4", 270-pounder out of Grand Forks Red River, helping out. And it brings up a 3rd down and 1 situation for West as they get no gain after McConnell. This is a big play. They need to at least respond with a couple of first downs after that score by 11-man East. 8 in the box for East. They want to stuff the run. Option, turning it upfield is Oderman, nowhere. To the 40, and they're saying first down is the indication from 11-man West, and we'll see if they will indeed get it. Maybe they got to pull the chains out on this one. They went to the option. East had it red. They had 8 in the box, 3 linebackers, 5 on the line. Everybody keying on the football. And this is just they're not going to measure. Oh, the chains, they're not going to measure this one. Can you believe that? That's a pretty gutsy call out there to not measure something like that. I think the defensive linemen are giving one of the officials a little bit of a hard time on that also. Oh, we're sitting on it, and we can see that, the nose of the football and the chain and the down marker are all in the exact same spot. But it will be a 1st down and 10 for 11-man West. They go back to the wing T, split ends on each side. And now we've got some more movement. Jumping from 11-man West will be Andy Hoffelt out of Williston, a 6'5", 300-pounder. Boy, there's some beef on these rosters. Have you noticed that? 300, 285, 280, a couple of 230s. 220 on the west side. Biggest is the best, kind of. That's the trend you'd get from this. 2 wideouts to the far side. Into the wide receiver for West is Daniel Homan out of Velva, and he joins Losering on the far side of the football field. Steffes in motion, snap taken, option right side. Oderman's got Steffes. There's the pitch, and Steffes turns it upfield, shakes off one would-be tackler, and he's driven out of bounds by a host of gold jerseys. And here comes a penalty flag late, and I think we're going to see a piling on here by 11-man East. I think we're going to see a personal foul penalty. One of those East guys came flying in like Superman at the end of that play, and he lands on the pile, and a flag came out. I think we're going to see a 15-yarder against the gold jerseys.
I think that answers your question right there.
West trying to drive, their initial drive after an East touchdown that came off a West turnover. Split ends again, and that wing T, give it away up the middle. McConnell will have no room. He's hit by 4 or 5 gold jerseys. And in the fray that time was Kalash out of Red River again. How can he not be in any plays, a 300-pounder? And they'll set it down at about the 42, a loss of a yard, and it brings up 2nd down and 11 for 11-man West. Valley Eye Care of Valley City, AJ's Motel of Pheasant bringing you the game broadcast today. Split ends again on that wing T formation. And in one split end is Steffes. He's been very quiet here since the halftime intermission. Broken play. Oderman steps up, wants to run it. He's brought down right at about the 42, 43. And West just kind of had the wheels fall off in the last couple of plays here. No place to go for Oderman that time. He didn't even have anybody to give it to, and it didn't look like anybody wanted to take it either. Ball inside East territory at their 43-yard line, and now Jacob Oderman didn't like what he saw. He wants to use a timeout for 11-man West. So he calls for timeout, which means we're going to break. 51.3 seconds left in the third. It's East 21 and West 7. This is Shrine Bowl football. Look at 11-man West at a 3rd down and 12 at 11-man East's 43-yard line. Wide receivers each side, dropping back. Oderman fires, and a pass is incomplete or fumbled, or is it complete? It could be anything of the combination here. It was in the hands for a moment of Tom Losering, and it was knocked to the ground immediately by number 42 for 11-man East. That's Alex Kingsley of Fargo South. It looks like they've ruled it an incomplete pass, and it brings up, no, they called it complete and down by contact, apparently. Or no, they didn't. Now they stopped the clock. What do we got for a call there, Coach? Okay. Well, nonetheless, the clock stopped very late in the game, and now Oderman drops back. Oh, he did a nice job to outrun some broken down protection. Fires downfield, has a man, but it's incomplete. Intended for number 30, Daniel Holman out of Velva, and he overshot his mark, brings up 4th down. And now we'll see the kicking crew come on here for 11-man West, and we'll see if they kick it, and we'll see how they decide to kick it. Looks like a punt opportunity here at the ball at the 43-yard line, but you know, 3-yard line, their own. Clock at 17.1 to play of the third quarter. 2 wide receivers near side, 1 to the far in an I formation as Jared Olson out of Grand Forks Central leads the East again at the quarterback. He takes the snap, gives it away to the fullback. Running the football is number 32, Rob McCann out of Grand Forks Central, and he carried the ball for a couple of yards up to the 45. It brings up 2nd down and 8 for 11-man East, and that is going to be the final play of the third quarter of football. Game broadcast brought to you today in part by Noda. Punch one in here. It could be lights out for 11-man West early in this fourth quarter. At the quarterback again for 11-man West, or actually 11-man East, is the man out of Grand Forks Central, Olson, and he tries to send one up the middle of the football field, and right about the 45 is where that play comes to an end. They carry that time for 11-man East by number 20, Jake Thompson out of Park River, and he comes up with maybe a half a yard. We'll call it no gain. 3rd down and 8 for 11-man East. The way East, 3 wideouts near side, 1 far. Back into quarterback, Jared Olson out of Central. 1 man in the backfield with him. He drops back, 5-step drop, rolls near side, fires, and he's got a man. The pass is complete. It'll be short of a 1st down, it would appear, on the near side of the football field. Pass complete to Brandon Laufenberg of West Fargo, a 6'1", 190-pound Packer. And it looks like the spot is just short of the 1st down, just outside of the 47-yard line. They needed to be just inside for the 1st down until the last minute, till the final last second before they had to send him in from the sideline. Clock under 11 to play. It is a power I formation. They have 9 in the box, actually 10 in the box. Does 11-man West to try and stop this. Snap taken, Walter. Walter puts his head down, bounces off a tackle, goes ahead of the 46 to just short of the 45. Good for about 1.5 yards and good for an 11-man East 1st down. To keep the chains moving. Maybe the next superstar for the Bison. Jared Olson under center on 1st down and 10 with the ball at the 45-yard line of West. They fake a pitch on an option and give it ahead on the straight dive. Carrying the ball was Rob McCann out of Central, and he'll move it ahead to about the 41-yard line. And that'll bring up a 2nd down and 6 situation for 11-man East. 3 wide receivers back in on 2nd down and 6, 2 far side, 1 near. Andrew Fall is wide on the near side. Snap taken by Olson, dropping back. He wants him. He steps up and fires a deep ball. Looking for him downfield. The pass is complete. A stop and pivot and touchdown. Andrew Fall for 11-man East made that play happen. The Harvey Hornet stops, hauls it in, and reverse pivots. And the man who was set to stop him, Danny Nassett of Bowman, runs right by him. A quick spin back to the inside. It's 6 for East with a flag on the field. Oh, it looks so good for just a moment, and it doesn't look good for East now. Holding penalty against 11-man East will back him up. Spot of the flag is at the 43-yard line. That's going to take him back out of West territory, and it'll bring up a 2nd down and long for 11-man East. Well, that penalty flag will hurt you as well. We talked about the turnovers. The flags are killer, especially when it wipes a score off the board. And here comes a 2nd down and 19 for 11-man East as Andrew Fall had a big play taken away from him out of the history books here. That play could have left them for dead on that score. It just would have been too big a task to try and come back from 3 scores down the way that defense for East is playing. 4 wide receivers, 2nd down and 19 at the 46. Snap taken, give it away to Stanley out of Rugby, the fullback, and he does well to get back to the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 3rd down and 19 now. And it looks like West rose to the occasion that time. They realized the gift they got to play before. Bring them back to the line of scrimmage. 3 wide receivers to the far side. Back in there is Brandon Laufenberg, who had a big catch on this drive. And wide to the near side is Andrew Fall of Harvey. Looking as Jared Olson as the quarterback. And again, 6 defensive backs in for West. Olson drops back. Decent protection. Then he's hit. Ball goes loose. Picked up by 11-man West. It looks to be a turnover. Recovered for the West team by number 86, Greg Mance on a man. And he returns it to the 39-yard line of 11-man East. Stepping up, Olson. He thought he had great protection. He got hit from the backside, and Mance will get the ball back for the West. Chance to air it out and get yourself right back into it. They bring it to the line. Jacob Oderman is the cornerback. They spread it out with 4 wide receivers. Snap taken. It's right up the middle, though, instead. And a couple of yards to be gained for their fullback. Nick Johnson out of Jamestown carrying the football for maybe a yard to about the 43. It brings up second down and 9. They are going to try and shake things up that way, so they're back with 4 wide receivers ready to go again. Again, Johnson is the fullback, no change in personnel. Back under center, Oderman. He drops back and looks to throw this time. Under some pressure, but rolls away from it to the near side. Steps up, pump fake. Now he runs it himself to the 35 and spun back from there. It'll be a pickup of about 4 yards. They'll give him the forward progress just short of the 35-yard line, but it brings up third down and long. And how about that coverage by 11-man East's offense, or actually defense, to recover from no huddle, and they took all the options away for a long, long time from Jacob Oderman. So here we go with third down and 7. 2 wide receivers to the far side this time. Kyle Steffes, who's been extremely quiet, as a slot on the near side. Snap taken, play action over the middle. Pass is incomplete, intended for Losering on the slant, but he was overshot. The nearest man to the football was 11-man East's number 35, Kyle Olson out of Hillsboro. Here comes a fourth down. I don't think West is looking at a punt here. I think they're going to go for it. Here they come on fourth down and extremely long. 2 wides to the far side, 1 to the near side is Steffes. Lone man in the backfield is Johnson. Snap taken. Rolling out is Oderman. Fires to the flat, and this one is incomplete. And just like that, East will take over. A pretty lackluster showing by the 11-man West offense as of late. And I got to say that 11-man East's defense has just been spectacular the entire ball game. They've been threatened, and they've shown up. And they've been able to stop a lot of things, and they get it back at the 35-yard line. First down and 10 for 11-man East.
Great pressure by Steve.
So here they come to the line. First down and 10 at the 35, their own 35. Wide out is Andrew Fall to the far side, 2 wide to the near side, and an I formation. And I believe we have yet a new quarterback in now. No Schumacher back in there. Hands it off. Big hole right up the middle for their tailback, and a first down back into 11-man West territory. Carrying the ball for East is Jay Thompson of Park River. We called this number a couple of times today. He's got 17, and it's first down and 10, 11-man East. And now if they score, this ball game would effectively be over. So here they come now on first down and 10 at the 48 of 11-man West, and we've got a whistle that will blow this one dead with 6:38 to play. Clock continues to run here, down to 6:35, and 4, and 3, and they stopped it at 6:33. 21-7, East on top by 2 scores.
It's tougher to run, and if you can execute your play action game like they have down in the red zone, that makes the difference.
3 wide receivers as they back it up. First down and 15, back in their own territory as East now. Play action. Looking to throw is Schumacher. He got destroyed as he let go of that football. He got hammered by number 71, John Oderman out of Dickinson Trinity. A 6'1", 235-pounder that took Schumacher out of that play in a hurry. And it's second down and 15 for 11-man East. Just looking at that sort of thing. Andrew Fall wide to the near side, 2 wide to the far side. 5 defensive backs for West. Snap taken, give it away. Thompson again out of Park River, and he carries it across the 45 and down to about the 43-yard line. They'll get about 10 yards out of that and brings up a third down and 5 for 11-man East. And valuable seconds ticking away here, too. We're down to 5:50 to play in this one as East has just put it on their running game, and their O-line continues to win it for them. Walter in as a wide receiver on this play. 3 wide receivers to the near side. Thompson is a wide out now on the far side. Snap taken. Schumacher drops back, sets up the middle screen, and it's to their fullback, Stanley. He's got the first down. Across the 40 to about the 37-yard line. That is a very well-conceived play. Picks up about 7 on the play, and it brings, well, now hold on. I gave him a bit too good a spot here. Are they going to move the chains? I believe they will, but it turned out to be only about a 3 or 4 yard play. I thought that it was good for a little bit more than that, but as a I formation, 3 wide receivers, and Schumacher back at the helm. Snap taken, give it away. Thompson again on a Park River, and he's stacked up right around the line of scrimmage. Be no gain in this play, and it should bring up about a second down and 10 for 11-man East.
Great stand by the front 6 there from the west side.
And Farm Supply of Cooperstown, and by Fessenden Co-op Association and VW Motors of Cooperstown. Schumacher drops back here on second down and 10. Rolling right side, in some trouble, wrestled out of bounds. Quarterback sack for 11-man West. Fantastic job that time for West. The sack will be credited to number 55, Brent Wunderlich out of Belva. a 6-foot, 220-pounder. And it brings up third down and 18 for 11-man East. On West 7, the Shrine Bowl games today in Dakota Country and Oldies 95. Quick drop by Schumacher, fires a screen that Walter was not ready for, and it falls in front of him. It'll bring up a fourth down, and the clock will stop with 4:09 to play as East will have to make their big decision here as to whether or not they continue to try and move the chains or they pin West back. Use that speed, they make a big play and see if he can get West back in the ball game. He's ready at about his own 5-yard line. Snap to Peterson is a good one. Kick is away. A high spiraling kick. Steffes will take it at about the 15. Shakes away from Bobby Babich. Breaks another tackle. Trying to bounce it outside. He's corralled at about the 28-yard line finally. Tackle will be made for 11-man East by number 85, Matt Haugen out of Griggs County Central making the stop. And also involved is number 64, Dan Eishorn out of Wahpeton. Yeah, tough to overlook him. Wing T formation, 2 split ends. 1 man in the backfield for West. They give it away to that 1 man in the backfield. That's McConnell, and he is destroyed immediately. Big hit made that time by Matt Haugen out of Griggs County Central. That Cougar, Griggs County Central Finley Sharon to complete the political pronunciation of that one there. A good 11-man single-A football team that they have had building the last couple of years, and he made another nice stop. We've said his name a few different times today. Over 11-man West here today. Ever since they went to the East-West format, it's been 2 apiece. The West won the first 2, the East the last 2, and maybe this one. Oderman drops back. His coverage breaks down. He scrambles forward and got to about the 30-yard line. A pickup of about a yard on the play. It should bring up a third down and call it 9 and some change here for 11-man West as their hopes on this one running away with 3:10 to go, and they're still deep in their own territory. Scoring summary in the post-game report. We'll have a special interview, and then our pregame show for 9-man football. It should be a lot of fun to finish off the night. 3 wide receivers again dropping back as Oderman fires over the middle. He's got a man. It's Lozering at the midfield stripe, and he carries it to the 46 of 11-man East. Nice play that time. Tom Lozering, we've said his name a couple of times today as well. The Dickinson, actually Dickinson man, that's Dickinson High, the midget, able to make that catch over the middle. And urgent supply. Kyle Steffes wide to the near side along with Lozering. Dropping back Oderman, bouncing off coverage, and now he's in some trouble. Wrestled down by Mike Omer out of Lemoore, the Lobo. And of Hope Farmers Oil of Pheasant, Cheyenne Auto Center of Valley City, and by Steve's Body Shop of Pheasant. 21-7 East on top. Ryan Cunningham and Kurt Scott Nicky filling in color commentary role here today. It's 2nd down and 15 for 11-man West, and here comes a pass option past the near side, caught again by Lozering on a bone-jarring hit right at the 41-yard line. He'll be just short of the first down. The pass will eventually come out of the hands for 11-man West of number 30, Daniel Holman out of Velvo. Took a pitch and then had the pass option, and he fired to the near side. 3rd down and 1 as West is reaching deep into their bag of trips on that play. Wing T, wide out to the far side of the football field. Man in motion as well. Play action, dropping back Oderman. All sorts of gold jerseys. He's wrestled down back at the 47-yard line. Sack's going to go to number 54, Tyler Morrow. Morrow's out of Wahpeton as the Huskies continue to have a big day. Derek Hart was involved on that play as well for Lemoore. You know, it's hard to believe watching Derek Hart today that his sport's going to be basketball because he's got a perfect tight end body. 6'5", big guy, can hit. Got to get some more guys for 9-man East here. 9 for 11-man West. This is the ball game for both teams. Snap taken, dropping back as Jacob Oderman in some more trouble. Hit, bounces off coverage, rolling left side, fires. Oh! He got hit hard back at the 50-yard line just as he went to throw the football. There were about 6 different gold jerseys involved in the coverage that time. The final hit made by Alex Kingsley of Fargo South. I'll tell you what, Alex is a very talented athlete, and he made a huge hit on that one. Back out to run the quarterback spot here for 11-man East, and our game number 1 of the day is winding towards a conclusion. Olson takes it under center, gives it away. Jay Thompson from Park River puts the head down, stays on his feet, and goes down to the 47. West cannot stop the clock. It's 2nd down and 7 for 11-man East at West's 47-yard line. So this is the part of the game where we know which way it's going, and it's only a matter of seconds, and East is going to take a 3-2 series lead over 11-man West. Right now, if you count the 9-man games in, about to become 7-2. 3 wide receivers, 2 near, 1 far. I formation. Olsen gives it away. Thompson trying to sneak off a block right side, and he piles up to about the 42. Looks to be short of a first down by about a yard or so. Don't know exactly why that is. West has got some great athletes out there, but the East just seems to be able to own control of this particular ball game.
It just seems like on both sides of the football, up front.
Believe that a Highliner may be at center now. We'll tell you more about that here in a moment. Valley City Highliner, 39 seconds to play, and there is a Valley City Highliner in the ball game as a first down is going to be achieved here by 11-man East. They give it off on the right side, and the kid. Come to a conclusion today. East 21, West 7, 3 wide receivers, 2 near side and 1 far with an I formation backfield. Under center again is Jared Olsen out of Grand Forks Central. Olsen calls the snap. He just takes a knee, and they'll shake hands, and this one will be over. Good contest. 3 touchdown passes to Scott Walter, the difference, and East is going to take home the football game today, and we will roll towards our mid-game session. 11-man East will have a 3-2 series lead over 11-man West after today here at the Fargo Dome. Your final score from the Fargo Dome today is 11-man East 21 and 11-man West 7. You're listening to the 2002 North Dakota Shrine Bowl High School All-Star Football Games on Oldies 95 and Dakota Country Radio.